I don't even feel alive unless I'm out of breath. That's what I get for being a musician.
The concert that changed everything. In 2023, Steven Tyler fractured his larynx during a concert, potentially ending Aerosmith's touring career. This shocking turn of events marks just one chapter in the rock star's tumultuous life. From his rise to fame in the 1970s to his recent health struggles, Tyler's story is filled with unexpected twists. Ready to dive into the real Steven Tyler? Picture this: Steven Tyler, the iconic frontman of Aerosmith, belting out classic hits on stage. Suddenly, his powerful voice falters. The crowd goes silent. Little did anyone know, this moment would change everything. Tyler's fractured larynx led to Aerosmith's decision to retire from touring, closing a chapter on their legendary live performances. But this isn't just about one concert gone wrong. It's about a life filled with highs and lows, triumphs and struggles. Tyler's journey from a small-town dreamer to a rock and roll legend is a roller coaster ride of fame, addiction, and redemption. There's so much more to his story than meets the eye. Want to know what really happened to Steven Tyler? Stick around, because we're about to reveal the man behind the mic. Rise to fame, Aerosmith's early days. Before Steven Tyler became a household name, he was just another kid with big dreams in a small town. Growing up in Yonkers, New York, young Steven's life was filled with music from the start. His father, Victor Tallarico, was a classical musician and music teacher who played piano for hours every day. This early exposure to music would shape Steven's future in ways he couldn't have imagined. I grew up under the piano, listening and living in between the notes of Chopin, Bach, Beethoven, Debussy, Tyler once recalled. It's no wonder he developed such a passion for music. It was literally in his blood and all around him from day one. Fast forward to the early 1970s. Picture this: a group of young guys in Boston brought together by their love of rock and roll. Steven Tyler, Joe Perry, Tom Hamilton, and Joey Kramer met at a local rock show in New Hampshire. And just like that, Aerosmith was born. Little did they know they were about to embark on a journey that would change their lives and the face of rock music forever. In 1973, Aerosmith released their self-titled debut album. It included a little song called Dream On. Maybe you've heard of it. At first, it only reached number 59 on the charts, but this song had staying power. It was re-released in 1976 and shot up to number 6. Talk about a comeback! But Aerosmith was just getting started. Their breakthrough albums, Toys in the Attic in 1975 and Rocks in 1976, took the music world by storm. Hits like Sweet Emotion and Walk This Way were blasting from radios across the country. Aerosmith wasn't just popular, they were becoming a force to be reckoned with in rock music. And at the center of it all, Steven Tyler, with his unique voice and electrifying stage presence. Tyler's performances were something else entirely. He didn't just sing, he owned the stage. His high-energy antics and powerful vocals earned him a nickname that would stick: the Demon of Screamin'. It wasn't just about his high notes, though those were pretty impressive. Tyler had a vocal range that could make other singers green with envy. But Tyler's talent didn't come out of nowhere. Remember those childhood days spent under his father's piano? All that exposure to classical music gave Tyler a unique edge. He wasn't just screaming into a microphone, he was creating art with his voice, blending the discipline of classical training with the raw energy of rock and roll. Aerosmith's rise to fame wasn't just quick, it was like a rocket to the moon. They went from playing small gigs to headlining major venues in what seemed like the blink of an eye. Their bluesy rock sound, combined with Tyler's powerful lyrics, struck a chord with audiences everywhere. People couldn't get enough of Aerosmith's music. The band's early years were a whirlwind of touring and recording. They were committed to their craft, playing gig after gig, honing their skills, and building their fan base. This dedication laid the groundwork for the massive success that was to come. But as we all know, fame isn't all glitz and glamour. Behind the scenes, things were starting to get complicated. The band's newfound success brought with it a whole new set of challenges. Late nights, constant touring, and the pressures of fame were taking their toll. And for Steven Tyler, the man at the center of it all, the dark side of rock stardom was looming. The endless parties, the groupies, the drugs. It was all part of the rock and roll lifestyle, right? But little did Tyler know, he was stepping onto a slippery slope that would nearly cost him everything. The downward spiral. Addiction and decline. As Aerosmith's star rose in the late 1970s, so did the temptations that came with fame. Steven Tyler, once the energetic frontman known for his powerful vocals, found himself caught in a dangerous spiral of drug and alcohol addiction. The rock and roll lifestyle that seemed so glamorous at first was taking a heavy toll. Tyler and guitarist Joe Perry earned the nickname Toxic Twins due to their excessive drug use. It wasn't just a catchy title, it was a warning sign of the trouble brewing beneath the surface. The band's wild partying wasn't just affecting their personal lives, it was seeping into their music and performances. By the early 1980s, Aerosmith's popularity was on a steep decline. The band that once dominated the charts was struggling to maintain their previous success. Their albums weren't selling like they used to, and their live shows were becoming unpredictable. Fans who came to see the high-energy performances they were known for often left disappointed. Tyler's addiction was affecting his ability to write and perform. The once sharp lyrics became muddled, and his legendary vocal range suffered. Band members were leaving, unable to cope with the chaos. Aerosmith, once a tight-knit group of friends living their dream, was falling apart at the seams. In 1980, Tyler's life took another dramatic turn. He was involved in a serious motorcycle accident that left him hospitalized for 2 months. This incident, while traumatic, could have been a wake-up call. Instead, it seemed to push Tyler further into his addiction. Speaking of wake-up calls, let's rewind a bit to an earlier chapter in Tyler's life, one that he'd probably rather forget. In the mid-1970s, at the height of Aerosmith's early success, Tyler became involved with a young fan named Julia Holcomb. Tyler, then 27, obtained guardianship of Holcomb when she was just 16. Their relationship was tumultuous from the start, marked by drug use and other issues. It culminated in a traumatic event that Tyler later described as a significant crisis in his life. While we won't go into all the details here, it's worth noting that this relationship and its aftermath had a profound impact on Tyler. Fast forward to the early 1980s, and Tyler had hit rock bottom. His personal life was in shambles, his health was failing, and the band that had been his ticket to stardom was on the verge of collapse. The demon of screaming was barely a whisper of his former self. But here's the thing about rock bottom. There's nowhere to go but up. Tyler's story didn't end here. In fact, this low point would set the stage for one of the most remarkable comebacks in rock history. As the 1980s wore on, it became clear that something had to change. Tyler's addiction wasn't just threatening his career, it was threatening his life. The man who once seemed invincible on stage was now facing his own mortality. Comeback Kid, Rehab, and Resurgence. In 1986, Steven Tyler made a decision that would change the course of his life and career. After years of battling drug and alcohol addiction, he checked himself into rehab. This wasn't just a quick fix. It was the beginning of a long and challenging journey towards recovery. Tyler's time in rehab wasn't easy. He had to confront the demons that had been plaguing him for years, but he was determined to turn his life around, not just for himself, but for his bandmates and family. As he worked through his addiction, Tyler began to rediscover the passion for music that had been buried beneath years of substance abuse. While Tyler was working on his personal recovery, something unexpected happened that would breathe new life into Aerosmith's career. Hip-hop group Run DMC decided to cover Aerosmith's 1975 hit, Walk This Way. But this wasn't just any cover. It was a groundbreaking collaboration that would change the face of music. The remix of Walk This Way blended rock and hip-hop in a way that had never been done before. When the song was released in 1986, it became an instant hit, reaching the top 5 on the charts. This collaboration didn't just revitalize Aerosmith's career, it introduced them to a whole new generation of fans. Riding the wave of this unexpected success, Aerosmith came back stronger than ever. In the late 1980s and 1990s, they released a string of multi-platinum albums that solidified their place in rock history. Permanent Vacation in 1987 and Pump in 1989 produced hit singles that dominated the airwaves. Remember Dude, Looks Like a Lady, and Love in an Elevator. These songs weren't just popular, they became anthems of a generation. Aerosmith's music videos were in heavy rotation on MTV, turning them into true multimedia stars. But success wasn't limited to the studio. Aerosmith launched extensive concert tours that showcased Tyler's renewed energy and passion. The Demon of Screamin' was back, and fans couldn't get enough. Speaking of fans, Tyler's family life was also evolving during this time. He became a father to 4 children, including actress Liv Tyler. Balancing fame with fatherhood wasn't always easy. In his autobiography, Tyler reflected on this challenge, saying, "There was a point where I didn't have a band and I didn't care. Despite the demands of his career, Tyler made efforts to maintain close ties with his children. He described family gatherings as fun and beautiful, showing a softer side to the rock star persona." As Aerosmith's popularity soared once again, Tyler found himself navigating a new kind of spotlight. The band's comeback wasn't just a return to form, it was a second chance at stardom, this time with the wisdom that comes from hard-learned lessons. But even as Tyler and Aerosmith enjoyed this resurgence, new challenges were on the horizon. The rock and roll lifestyle, even without the drugs and alcohol, was taking its toll. Health issues began to surface, threatening to impact Tyler's performance and the band's future. New horizons, American Idol and solo projects. Just when you thought Steven Tyler's career couldn't get any more surprising, he threw everyone for a loop in 2011. The rock legend, known for his wild antics and powerful vocals, made an unexpected move. He became a judge on American Idol. This wasn't just a small gig, it was a prime-time TV role that put Tyler in millions of living rooms across America. But why would a rock star like Tyler take on a job judging pop singers? According to Tyler himself, it wasn't just about the paycheck or the exposure. In an interview, he revealed a more personal motivation. "Did I take this job to show the band? Fuck, yeah. I can't be held hostage anymore." This statement hinted at underlying tensions within Aerosmith that had been brewing for some time. Tyler's decision to join American Idol didn't sit well with his bandmates. In fact, he signed on for the show without even telling them, which only added fuel to the fire. The move created a rift in the band, with some members feeling betrayed or left behind. It seemed like the unity that had brought Aerosmith back from the brink in the 80s was starting to crack. Despite the drama, Tyler's stint on American Idol was generally well received. His quirky personality and honest critiques made him a fan favorite. He brought a rock and roll edge to the show that it hadn't seen before. But while Tyler was busy making TV history, Aerosmith was left in a state of uncertainty. As if to assert his independence even further, Tyler decided to venture into new musical territory. In 2016, he released his debut solo album, We're All Somebody from Somewhere. But this wasn't just any solo project, it was a country album. Yes, you read that right. The man who once screamed "Dream On" was now crooning about love and life with a twang. Tyler described his foray into country music as a return to his roots. "I believe y'all are gonna listen to this stuff, and you're gonna agree with me that it fell from a star," he said about the album. The record included the single Love Is Your Name, which showcased Tyler's versatility as an artist. To support the album, Tyler embarked on the Out on a Limb tour, playing 19 dates across the country. This tour was a far cry from the massive stadium shows he was used to with Aerosmith. Instead, it featured more intimate venues where Tyler could connect with the audience and showcase his new sound. Speaking of new sounds, this wasn't the first time Tyler had shown interest in genres outside of rock. Throughout his career, he had collaborated with artists across various styles. Remember the Run DMC collaboration that revitalized Aerosmith's career? That was just one example of Tyler's willingness to experiment with different musical styles. But as Tyler explored these new horizons, health issues were lurking in the background. The rock and roll lifestyle had taken its toll over the years, and Tyler was starting to feel the effects. He had battled hepatitis C in the past, and throat problems had become a recurring issue. These health challenges would soon play a significant role in shaping the next chapter of Tyler's career. Tyler's solo endeavors and his time on American Idol marked a period of personal growth and exploration. He was no longer just the frontman of Aerosmith. He was Steven Tyler, the multifaceted entertainer. But this new phase of his career came with its own set of challenges. Balancing his solo work with his commitments to Aerosmith proved to be a delicate act. The price of rock and roll, health struggles and legacy. Steven Tyler's rock and roll lifestyle came with a hefty price tag, and we're not just talking about designer scarves and flashy stage outfits. The Aerosmith frontman's health took some serious hits over the years, proving that even rock gods aren't invincible. In 2003, Tyler got some news that would shake anyone's world. He was diagnosed with hepatitis C, a serious liver disease. Now, you might think a rock star would brush it off, but Tyler took it seriously. He underwent a grueling 11-month treatment that he described as agony. Imagine going through that while still trying to be the energetic frontman fans expected on stage. But Tyler's health battles didn't stop there. In 2006, he had to undergo throat surgery to fix a ruptured blood vessel. For a singer known for his powerful screams and wide vocal range, this was a big deal. It wasn't just about his career, it was about his very identity as a performer. The surgery forced Aerosmith to cancel half of their North American tour that year. Fans were disappointed, but Tyler's health had to come first. These health issues weren't just random bad luck. They were directly linked to Tyler's wild past. Years of drug and alcohol abuse had taken their toll. Remember the toxic twins we talked about earlier? Well, all that partying caught up with Tyler in a big way. Speaking of catching up, let's rewind a bit. Tyler's health problems didn't just pop up out of nowhere in the 2000s. Throughout Aerosmith's career, his lifestyle affected his performances. There were missed shows, forgotten lyrics, and on-stage collapses. In 2009, Tyler fell off the stage during a concert, resulting in head, neck, and shoulder injuries. It was a wake-up call that showed just how fragile even a seemingly invincible rock star could be. But here's the thing about Steven Tyler. He's resilient. Despite these setbacks, he kept pushing forward. He didn't let his health issues define him or end his career. Instead, he used his experiences to fuel something positive. In 2015, Tyler launched Janie's Fund, a charity to help girls who have suffered abuse and neglect. The name comes from Aerosmith's hit song, Janie's Got a Gun, which deals with child abuse. 2 years later, he opened Janie's House, a shelter for abused girls. It's a powerful example of how Tyler turned his own struggles into a way to help others. Tyler's philanthropic efforts show a different side of the rock star. It's not all about the music and the fame, it's about making a real difference in people's lives. This work has become an important part of Tyler's legacy, proving that there's more to him than just his iconic voice and wild stage antics. Despite all these challenges, Tyler kept performing with Aerosmith well into his 70s. The band's tours were still major events, drawing fans from all over the world, but the clock was ticking, and the years of hard living were catching up. Which brings us back to that fateful concert in 2023. Remember how we started this story? Tyler's fractured larynx during that performance wasn't just a random accident. It was the culmination of years of pushing his voice to the limit, combined with the natural effects of aging on a singer's instrument. The real Steven Tyler, a life in perspective. Steven Tyler's life is a testament to the power of resilience. From his early days as the demon of screaming to his battles with addiction and health issues, Tyler's journey has been anything but smooth. His impact on rock music is undeniable, with Aerosmith's induction into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame cementing their legacy. But Tyler's story goes beyond music. His openness about his struggles has humanized the rock star image, showing that even icons face personal demons. Tyler's philanthropic efforts, especially Janie's fund, reveal a compassionate side often overshadowed by his stage persona. As we look at Tyler's life, it's clear that fame is a double-edged sword. It brings success and adoration, but also intense pressure and scrutiny. Tyler's story makes us wonder, how well do we really know our musical heroes?